Nim is 28. He's fit, he's healthy. He ran the New York Marathon 4 months ago and felt on top of the world. But when he started struggling to breathe, it uncovered something deadly. And you could actually help save his life with one simple swab.
I guess that's what kind of makes this whole story so bizarre, is that the point at which I got diagnosed is probably the healthiest and fittest I've ever been in my life.
I think your whole body just goes into shock. And then from there you just sort of take it step by step and you just have to keep moving forward.
Young, fit and on top of the world. Nim Sundaram was living his best New York life alongside his girlfriend Sarah after the pair relocated from Sydney.
We had a great 2.5 years, both within New York City, which is a pretty crazy place to be, especially at this age and, without any real responsibilities. And, we spent a lot of time travelling and kind of really seeing a lot of the US.
He'd just ticked running the New York Marathon off his bucket list, but a week later, Nim noticed he was becoming increasingly out of breath.
He's always been such a healthy guy and usually doesn't really get sick very often. So we thought maybe it was something to do with the marathon that had set something off in his lungs.
But I kind of ignored it initially because I thought, this is just something either in the air or some kind of, cold or flu, and I'll kind of shake it off.
But Nim couldn't shake it off. Just days later, he struggled to walk across the room without needing to rest. He and Sarah were in rural Minnesota visiting her family. They went to the local hospital where they ran scans.
And I still remember the nurse coming up to us and pointing out that, there was a dark mass in the middle of my chest. And, at that point, you kind of go into shock and you don't really know what to think or how to even respond.
At 28 years old, Nim was diagnosed with T-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
It was really tough, and initially you're kind of freaking out and asking the question, am I going to die? And that's the question that you naturally ask when you're kind of faced with a life-threatening illness, and then you sort of get to grips with that, and then the next question is, how does this change my life?
He began treatment immediately in the US, but the couple soon realised they needed to be back home, closer to family. Now back in Sydney, he's on his second round of chemo, his weakened immune system taking a battering.
There are some days I come in and I don't actually get the chemo because my blood counts aren't high enough, so that's more frustrating than this, so at least we're kind of moving forward.
And I hear today is a good day for your bloods.
Yeah, good results, and they're all kind of strong enough that I can continue chemo.
Treatment is done block by block without planning too far ahead, but Nim has been told he'll likely need a stem cell transplant to beat this.
We kind of got told, we need to start looking for donors now and trying to find a match.
With no full blood siblings, Nim is relying on someone with similar Sri Lankan heritage to save his life.
This feels like a very difficult challenge because a lot of it's out of my control. At the same time, we do have an opportunity here to really kind of get a massive push to get a lot more people on the register.
There's 44 million people on the donor registry around the world, but currently only 165,000 are Australians.
I don't think people realise quite how easy it is. It's just a cheap swab and you send it in the mail and you're on the register.
There's 2 ways to join the stem cell donor register. You can apply online and they'll send you this kit and you just do it at home on your own. Or if you're already a blood donor, you can tack it on to your next donation. So this will go off for the stem cell register?
That's correct.
Easy as that.
Exactly.
The most crucial donors needed are between 18 and 35.
We're just going to take a few samples and send them off to them for testing.
CEO of Stem Cell Donors Australia, Lisa Smith.
Just by simply being on the registry, you are offering hope. If you were facing one of these transplants, you do get a lot of hope just from knowing that we are searching 44 million people around the world, 165,000 people in Australia to find you that best match.
But even then, sometimes that's not enough, and it can be a matter of life or death for patients like Nim. It's why the register desperately needs more young people, particularly those from diverse backgrounds.
It just shows how special these matches are when knowing that there's 44 million donors registered and that we are still seeing these cases where people can't find their match.
If you do match with someone and are called on to donate, it's often as easy as a blood donation, where they separate the stem cells needed from the blood.
You're saving somebody's life, that is the hope, but also cure. The intent of this treatment is to cure the patient once and for all.
How nervous are you about finding a match?
Quite nervous. I think it's a very scary prospect that we might not find one. Obviously nervous for myself, but end of the day, I think we can do a great thing for a lot of people and, you know, hopefully save other lives out there, if not mine.
But this race is far from over.
Yeah, obviously, I don't feel like I did when I ran the marathon, but definitely feeling better than the first day I walked into hospital. So.
Do you think you're going to get back to marathon running anytime soon?
When I finished the marathon, I said I'd never do another one, but I'd love to do a marathon cancer-free this time. So that's the next goal.
That's a great goal to have. Let's hope we can find Nim's perfect match. If you'd like to help or find out how you can join the registry, scan the QR code or head to our website for more details.